Okay, we're recording. All right, everybody, welcome to our 101 class, our intro. And my name is Melissa, and I have Candace and Roar and Catherine Emfinger with me. And we're going to just go through the basics and just share some of our testimonies and things we have done with the Premium Starter Kit. I like to tell people in the beginning that the reason how this kit got put together is because 9 out of 10 things that you're going to want to address you can basically do with this kit. It is a phenomenal value. You basically get 12 oils, samples with Ningxia. It shows Thieves spray or Thieves cleaner, but they were putting a spray in right now because they had some package sealant issues with the packaging. And Thieves hand sanitizer, 2 roller fitments. Am I forgetting anything?
The Ningxia Red.
Yeah, 2 Ningxia Red packets. And I think that's so it's $400 and change worth of product for $165 plus tax and shipping. But right now you get free shipping through October. But I don't know if we need to talk about that since this is recorded. Okay, so something just happened to my screen. There it goes. So welcome. So let's talk about how I think probably the best way for me to start off is I'm just going to share a real quick, very short, abbreviated testimony, and then y'all can jump in and do the same thing. I've been doing holistic stuff for a little over 30 years, but I transitioned into Young Living about 10 years ago. And my personal testimony, what really opened the door for me was not so much wellness, but emotional. And then it transitioned to everything else. I went through a divorce in at 41. And found myself super depressed and really struggling just to get through every day. And a good friend of mine is a pharmacist in Texas, and I had called her and said, I need some help. And shared with her just how low I was and how bad it was, and said, I need some help. And she said, didn't you just you were telling me about those essential oils that you got. Have you used them? And I said, well, no. I basically had opened up my limited starter kit that we got 10 years ago, which didn't even have a diffuser. Smelled them. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I didn't, and threw them in a drawer. I didn't know what to do with them. I had the book, didn't look at the book. Just things were really hard. And she said, I just read an article on frankincense and depression. She said, try it for a couple weeks and then get back with me. And so I did, and I didn't know how to use them. I had remembered the lady that taught our class, which is now our Diamond Upline, had talked about just putting them in your hands and cupping them over your face and breathing. And so I did that every morning and night, and just, basically, Lord help me. And about day 4, 5-ish of doing it, I felt a shift emotionally, like a weight had been lifted. And I remember it kind of catching me off guard, thinking, okay, there's something to this. And I still to this day use frankincense every day. And so then I got my book out, started reading, but phenomenal changes for me just built off of that. But that was what opened the door for me. And like I said, I still use frankincense every day. Candace.
Cool. All right. So Melissa actually is the one who introduced me to oils. And it basically was because I was feeling like I was coming down with something. And because I had some other things like, urinary tract infections and stuff like that was recurring. And my physician at the time was prescribing me an antibiotic that I ended up building a resistance to, an immunity to, that they, tested and saw that we could no longer use that. And I'm also allergic to a major antibiotic. So I had, knew that Melissa used natural remedies and called her and was, talking to her about what are the different things that I could do to help support my immune system, because my throat was super, super yucky, the usual, like kind of pussy, super red, hurts to swallow, all that kind of stuff. And so I just wanted to do whatever I could to try whatever I could before going to the doctor. It was like going to the doctor was going to be my last resort if this didn't help me. And so anyways, I started using Thieves, and mixing it with a coconut oil and putting it over my throat, and then putting a drop in my tea and drinking it several times a day. And I was better, like by day 2, I was feeling pretty good. By day 3, it was like, it doesn't hurt to swallow anymore. And I just kept using it, and it was completely cleared up within 5 days. So I was just completely amazed by how well that it worked and how much better I felt. And that was just the start of my journey as far as that goes. And now we use like Thieves everything, as far as like toothpaste, cleaner, the spray, the hand purifier, the soap, like everything, to support our bodies constantly throughout the day. And Catherine.
So for me, Melissa also got me started with essential oils, and it was like during my last year, really on my last semester of college, and I had never heard of essential oils before. And she actually I talked to her pretty frequently while I was in school, and one day after venting to her about just a lot of stress, not being able to sleep, and lots of feelings of anxiety that I was dealing with, she just said, I'm sending you a package right now. When you get it, call me. And I called her when I got it because I had no idea what it was. I was like, oh, what are essential oils? Like, what do I do with this? Do I eat it? Do I put it on me? Like, I have no idea, which was a common question of a lot of people before these things got really popular in the last few years. But she sent me Valor and Peace and Calming and Lavender, and told me how to use them, to rub them in my hands, rub them together, cup my hands over my nose, to breathe them in, to put them on my chest or the back of my neck or the bottom of my feet, and do all of them, all 3 of them, do them before I go to bed at night, and do them during the day when I felt stressed or whatever. Well, it only took right before bed for me to wake up the next morning and be like, okay, I don't know what this is, but these are amazing. And that got me hooked. And, usually people come to try things like this when they hit a specific wall, like some type of pain point is when you usually turn to other things like this. And so you may not think, a lot of people will say, well, I'm not really sick, I don't really have a lot of problems, so I don't really need that. Well, that shouldn't be the reason that you come to essential oils. I am so thankful that I got involved in them for those issues that Melissa helped me with. And afterwards I asked her, okay, so like, what do I get now? I had to like kind of talk through, like, what do I really need? I don't really have a lot of issues or anything like that. I didn't at that point anyway, but it's more so tools that help bring your body in balance so that over time you maintain a healthy system that's functioning the way that God created it to, with the things that God created for your body. So I think that's really the mindset that we need to get into as we walk through these oils. This slide is healthcare versus sick care, and that's really what you need to think about when you're using your products. Get on the monthly ordering programs that you can swap things out in your house that are going to help you and your family stay above the wellness line consistently as much as possible. These are things that are helping you so that when stuff attacks or your body gets under pressure and under stress and the immune system's compromised, it helps you stay where it needs to be, brings it back into alignment. And so I think that's really the mindset you should have about these products. One quick other testimonial that I didn't even know could be possible was I was having a lot of problems with kidney stones and things like that. And Melissa suggested, after reading some, ideas and things in our desk reference, to try lemon oil in my water consistently every day. And I had at that point passed about 12 kidney stones. But when I started drinking lemon oil in my water, I actually went to my urologist about 6 months later in a follow-up scan, and the 2 kidneys that were packed with stones, there was no stones. They had all dissolved, all of them. And as long as I consistently drink lemon oil in my water, I do not create them. So that is a powerful testimony. I tell everybody about that. I think it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So don't underestimate these little bottles of plant juice.
I remember when you were traveling, didn't y'all go skiing or someplace?
Yes, we drove 24 hours or 27 hours, whatever, to Denver to ski, and had to stop in Houston for a kidney stone.
Yep, I remember
So it's
that.
awful.
I remember.
So glad those days are done.
Yeah, me too. So we kind of already hit on this on Ditch and Switch. So what is your one favorite product out of the premium starter kit would be what?
Out of the premium starter kit,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Can I
if we're
pick
not
three?
if we're not talking oils, the oils and specifically, I mean, something that I use all throughout the day is that Thieves spray. I mean, that stuff just comes in handy for everything, and we keep that in stock. Like the kids take one of those little bottles to school with them. They have it in their desk or in their backpack to clean their hands rather than using the hand sanitizer that the teachers keep. And they don't use the soap because there's, most of the time they have a bathroom in their classroom and they have a little sink outside of the bathroom to wash their hands when they come out. And my kids have their own hand soap in the classroom with their name on it. So just having that type of stuff, being able to readily have that available, or to even make your own with the essential oils that you have on hand, has been amazing.
Yeah, I don't leave my house without it. Catherine, what's yours?
Yeah, we have the spray in my purse, in my car, in my diaper bag. My whole family's obsessed with the spray now. I really love the hand sanitizer, and I keep that with me too.
Me too.
Because I love that it's moisturizing and it doesn't stink,
Yes.
and it's not disgustingly dangerous. But I absolutely love having the spray, especially with a child, because especially with a baby, I take that thing and light up the tables and high chair and anything like that wherever we go. So I can use it for that, but then I can also spray it on my hands real quick and
Right.
sanitize my hands. So it's kind of double purpose for me. I love the spray.
Yeah, I would say, oils aside, obviously my favorite oil is always going to be frankincense, but I would say probably I carry the spray and the hand sanitizer, but I also carry the Thieves cleaner in a small travel bottle in my car because we travel so much. And so I would say the Thieves products are probably my most used of everything I have. And that's why,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today, because right now I broke my little plastic bottle, but I have a glass one that I'm carrying in my truck. And I was like, I really need to place that, but I use it all the time. I use it when we, especially like I said, traveling, going into bathrooms and
Yes.
places. I mean, we use it for everything. Okay. So Seed to Seal. Because most people who are going to be watching this don't know anything about our company. And I think this, when you look at just in general, the wellness and the standard American diet, a lot of the reason that we have so many problems is not just because everything's fake, but it's also because our food and things that we have now do not have any nutrients, because our soil and everything is so depleted, and we have genetically modified seeds and plants, and everything's sprayed with pesticides. And so for me, non-GMO organic foods and everything are at the top of the list for things for my family. But even more so, Young Living takes it so beyond that, where they only farm virgin land or something that has not been touched by pesticides or anything for over 50 years. They control the dirt, the everything that is, they have the ability to control. They control the harvest. They hand weed a lot of their farms. And I can't remember, at Diamond Bound, they talked about the cost of weeding one of the fields and how many labors. Or maybe that was a convention. Do y'all remember how much that was?
No, Jared posted one of the corporate
Yeah,
guys
it was like
posted
$12,000
versus 2,000 or something like that, 200 or something. The way that because they have them hand weed and take care of and harvest versus the fast, quick way, which is chemical spray and all that kind of stuff. And that is why the cost is different too, as well.
And I've seen them. I've been there. We've all three of us have actually been to the farm, and I've seen them out there hand weeding. And I've been to the farm in Idaho, and same thing when, they come in, they hire workers to come in and weed, with a Melissa harvest and It's very impressive. And they take it beyond organic. So when people, now of course we have the GMO certification on all of our vitality oils and everything, but they take it even beyond that. And that is important to me because as a mom, when I started, my kids were little, and I never had to worry about the integrity of putting these products on my kids. And this Seed to Seal promise doesn't just go for oils. It goes for the wide range of supplements, for their makeup, for their cleaners, for everything that they have has this promise and this guarantee behind it. Is there anything y'all want? And there's a seedtoseal.com website that has some really cool videos and stuff on it. Anything y'all want to add about Seed to Seal?
Yeah, I will just say that you'll probably see a lot of companies that are out there that say they are comparative to Young Living. And so you have to know that whenever other companies are trying to constantly compare themselves to another one, they're trying to be as good. And know that, you know, if you do some research and look into those other companies, you're going to have a hard time actually seeing where, if those companies actually even own any farms. They're probably just buying oils from someone else, which means they have no control over what's taking place on those farms that they're buying oils from. And so they may try to say that they're, you know, organic or any of that kind of stuff, but you know, they don't actually own the farms themselves to be able to have any control over what's actually going on.
Or the testing. I mean, we have a $2 to $3 million, I can't remember now what the dollar amount is, you know, testing facility with all, not, it's more than just mass spec and that. I mean, the extensive tests and stuff that are run in-house and out of house. There's nothing to compare anywhere of that. And Mike Bush is a great person to follow on Facebook. He's got a public profile, and his little science videos and explanations that he does are great. So if you're, he and Lindsay Elmore has some too, but I really like Mike because of the detail and stuff he goes into on just how extensive the Seed to Seal is. Okay, so let's talk about how to use them. And aromatically is kind of what I talked about with frankincense. And, you know, aromatically can be snipping it out of the bottle, cupping it out, which would also be topically, but putting in your hands and inhaling it, diffusing it, which I think, I mean, I run diffusers all the time. I know you guys do too. And which is highly dilutes it considerably because you're taking, like this diffuser has quite a, you know, pretty good size, and it's got a fill line. You put the water and put oils in there. I don't put, but about usually about 4 drops in mine when I put it in there. But we have diffusers all through our house. I have one in my kids' room, each of my kids' rooms. I have one in my room, and I have one in the living room. And I think I even have one in the kitchen. And I usually am running 2 to 3 diffusers during the day. So I don't put very many oils in mine when I do it. And it's not overwhelming. I've got a friend's house I went into the other day, and the plug-in air freshener things were so strong, it just about knocks you over. And every time somebody walks in my house, they're like, oh my word, I love and even when my diffusers aren't running, because the molecules are, you know, they're in the air, they're on us, they're in our furniture, but there's nothing synthetic or chemical that's ever going to hurt, you know, me or my kids or my dog. And if I had a cat, they'd be safe for my cat too. And then internally, Candace kind of talked about that. You can take them in a veggie cap, or like she does, you know, in her water, which I know that when you were struggling at the worst, you were also taking quite a bit in a capsule. And one of the things that I've learned and been doing the last couple of years is I also put a carrier oil in a capsule by itself or with the oils, which works the same way topically. And it just slows it down how it goes through the system. So it just makes it go through the body slower. And with it being in a fatty oil, it's going to slow it down and just make it more really kind of intensify and slow down the way it works. So I do that a lot. And then topical, Candace, y'all can talk about, you know, just different topical ways you do it. I do feet, back, bath, And
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
bathtub and Epsom salt.
Mhm.
If you have like a large area to cover, like a lot of times people don't really, if you're not, no one's told you when you first get your oils, sometimes people can feel like they go through their oils really fast.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that you really only need 2 to 4 drops. And you just think that if you have a larger area to cover, like, let's just say you're trying to rub it all up and down your back for like back spasms or whatever, muscle soreness from working out down the quads or something like that, just a large area, that you don't need to just drop as much oil to cover the area. You can just do a couple of drops with a carrier oil. And when we say that, we mean things like coconut oil or almond oil or olive oil, or whatever you have around the house, jojoba oil. And you just do a couple of drops into a larger amount of a carrier oil, and it can spread all the way, over that whole area that you need it without without wasting any excess drops, because you really don't need 10 drops, you really only need 2 to 4 drops. So,
while we're talking about topical too, one of the things I forget about this sometimes until somebody calls me and says, hey, can you tell me the best way to use, like Panaway, which is pictured here. And if I had somebody who had really overexerted themselves, probably in Candace's workout, because she's a beast, and they were really sore, but having like a lot of Charlie horses and a lot of muscle spasms, and mama mode, or if I'm, wanting to support my immune system, is something that I forget to tell people. So Dr. Minky kind of coined this term years ago in one of his classes that he did. And he talked about every 10 to 20 minutes applying that oil. And after the second or third time, if you don't see a shift in what you're addressing, then add another oil or change what you're doing. And so that's when you're like, and sometimes when you're in it, especially if you have kids and you're trying to address something and you're not seeing the results you want, or you're not sure what to do, this is a good way to just kind of do that and just be an investigator, so to speak, and watch how your body responds. And you will find, because everybody's going to respond differently to different oils. And some, Panaway may work great for 80% of the people, but then I personally, when I'm sore or have something going on, I actually like Deep Relief. It just depends. And sometimes I work a little bit better with that or Cool Azul. And so people are going to find what they want, but using that mama mode when you're addressing something, the good thing about essential oils is you're not going to, there's not like a toxicity level, you don't want to drink a whole bottle of oil. Use common sense. But I'm just saying, as far as there's putting it on every 10 minutes is not going to hurt anything. And I've never had to do it more than, 3 times that I can think of ever with anything.
But you do have to think about, like, while you're on that topic, like sometimes depending on the issue, it's not necessarily like, oh, well, I used a drop of oil and it didn't help. It's like, well, do you take one pill when you have a problem? You know what I mean? Like most of the time.
Yeah.
So, when, like you were talking about your throat, Candace, it's not just like a one and done. You are taking care of it and boosting your immune system so your body can help fight off whatever is going on. So you're going to continually use that, until the problem is resolved and beyond.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty much what I tell people whenever they're actually dealing with something, that you're going to, at least minimum use it 3 to 4 times a day. But, like if you had a major headache or something, or, kids are throwing up or any of that kind of stuff, then, we're applying oils every 30 minutes, until, we feel like they're doing a little bit better. And so that's, pretty much, how we deal with it. And then, we're just using them every day whenever it's just regular,
life.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. We'll talk forever if we don't keep going. Lemon Vitality. This is probably the one that you probably
kidneys and bladder, and bladder,
and digestion.
Yeah.
It's
detox
really
and digestion. Yes.
It's circulatory. I mean, it's very good for the circulatory system. I actually love the taste of this. This is something I put in my water. I did orange in my kombucha this evening, but the citrus oils I just love them. I love all of them.
Yeah.
And they're
lime.
I would say lemon's probably my most used though.
Lime is amazing.
Lemon, I did not think. I thought when I first got my little collection of oils, I was like, what the heck am I going to do with lemon? Like, I mean, it smells great. Okay, cool.
Right.
It is one of the most powerful oils that I use for so many things now.
Me too.
And I mean, talking about body support, but I keep a bottle of lemon in the laundry room because, of stains and stuff like that too. So it was the only thing that got Sharpie off of our wall whenever Logan decided to write his name using Sharpie. Yay, you know how to write your name. Let's not do it on the wall. And that was the only thing that got it off. And, so even though you might hate to use your oils for something like that, I felt like I had it on hand. It was in the house. I didn't have to go buy something else that was harmful, or any of that kind of stuff. Blood. And it works. It works to get those hard stains out, and it brightens too. So, like using a drop of orange or a drop of lemon on your toothbrush, it helps to brighten and whiten your teeth. You can use any of the citruses in that way. So
it's also really good to add to a cup of tea with Thieves. Thieves Vitality and lemon.
So this orange and the bottle shown on here, the only difference I just want to cover because I know we're going to forget if I don't.
Yes.
So this is the regular label, and the white label, which we were talking about being the Vitality label, which is like this one right here. You can see that. I don't know what this one is. Peppermint? No, I don't know. Parsley. And the only thing different between the white label and the regular label is the label. I mean, the bottle is the label. So Young Living, because some of the rules had changed in what they could be labeled for. Used to, the old bottles were labeled for dietary, internal use, and topical. So this label is going to have all the topical aromatic uses that are on the label, and the white one is going to be for supportive. One thing you mentioned too about how much you love lime, and I just want to throw this out there because I learned this a few months ago, is lime is super supportive for the lymphatic system. So it's even more so. I mean, it's just a little bit different than the lemon, but it is very beneficial. Both of them are, but the lime just a little bit more potent for the lymphatic.
Awesome.
Okay, peppermint.
Oh, I love peppermint. This is one of my favorite ones from the beginning. Like for me, even before I really honed in on changing my eating habits, but even now, but when I first started, I was eating healthy, but I wasn't eating for my issues yet. And peppermint is like the salvation for digestive anything. What's so cool about oils is they work how they need to work. So it's weird for me to say, hey, today I have a really upset stomach and I use peppermint oil. And then tomorrow say, oh, so-and-so had constipation, but they use peppermint oil. And it's like, wait, hold on. Those are like two different issues. It's like, yeah. But the oil knows what it's doing. Like,
or I needed energy this morning and I did a drop of peppermint under my tongue.
Adaptogenic.
And I have a friend who I thought it was pretty neat that carries a bottle of peppermint because it helps him like with his anxiety. And I was like, really? You use peppermint for that? And he's like, yeah, it just has this super calming effect on me. And I was like, well, that's just awesome. So, it just has that link for him. And so he carries it in his pocket throughout the day so that he can pull it out and smell it just right from the bottle. Just opens the bottle and smells it. So
a lot of herbs have that benefit, the grounding benefit like that. Oregano even too. So peppermint topical, I can tell. I put peppermint, the regular peppermint, it's supposed to be topical, but I put peppermint oil in my belly button if I have an upset stomach. I have dropped it on the top of my head. I'll inhale it when I'm driving because especially those long drives to Texas and back, just for to keep me focused.
Cooling. It's cooling for when you're like blazing hot, or your kids are out in the field getting hot, or you got hot flashes.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I have a good friend whose daughter would always like not want to go to the bathroom. When you said that about constipation, putting a drop in the toilet would help her relax and go to the bathroom. And I just, to me, I remember thinking that is so, I mean, you just, from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, these oils they adapt to what you need, and they just bring the body back into homeostasis. And
when in doubt, use what you have wherever you think you should put it. You know what I mean? Yes. It's pretty cool to watch. Also on that topic, I don't know if we talk about Digize in a few slides, but Digize is another one that friends have told me putting a drop or two on the top of the tailbone or in the toilet also like almost instantly relieves constipation. I've tested it. It does work.
That's neat.
Yeah.
We use that on my mom. My mom took it. She would take it in a capsule, or we would put it on her feet and go clockwise and rub her foot, and it would help her relax towards the end of her life.
Okay. So I have some great stories about lavender, and it's almost always my kids. And it's almost always going to be Logan, my oldest. So, some really cool stuff with that. We were at a friend's house, and they had a zip line. And so Logan was playing on the zip line and stuff like that. Well, at the very end, he whenever it stopped, it slung him back. And then whenever he came forward, he hit his head up on the handle. Oof. Well, I can't remember how old he was at the time. I feel like maybe he was 7, or maybe a little bit younger than 7, but he ended up having a giant, just huge bump on his head, but it almost cut. It was almost cut too, because it had a line where he had hit that metal piece. And so he wasn't crying, but he was really trying not to cry, just because we were at a party and all his friends were around. And so anyway, everybody was freaking out because it was just this huge bump on his head. And I just was one of the friends I'm going to go get you some ice. And I was like, okay. So I just, calmly go to my purse, grab my lavender, get some on my fingers and rub it on his head. And then we put the ice on there. And then, he's super calm, which is one reason why I say, even if you're not comfortable with putting lavender directly on an area that has had something happen, if you would just get it out and at least let your kids smell it or something. If they are freaking out and they're crying and stuff like that, you need to be able to talk to them calmly to assess the situation. And so anyways, he was super calm, and wanted to go play. Within just a couple minutes, it wasn't bothering him anymore, but we kept putting it on a couple of times throughout the day. And by the next day, you couldn't even tell that anything had happened other than that mark, the line it didn't actually cut the skin. He wasn't bleeding, but you could see that on his head. And so if it's anything that you think is a possibility that it might bruise, you should definitely put lavender on it.
Yes.
I mean, definitely. And so that has come in handy several times whenever my kids have run into something, got a knock on their head, and all that kind of stuff. And Logan also had in the car, whenever we had just gotten in the car, we had bought him a toy, and he was asked if he could see my nail file. And so anyways, he's trying to cut the tape. Well, he slid, and it was one of those metal nail files. So he cut the top of his finger, and it got that vein just right. And it's squirting blood everywhere in the car. Literally was on the ceiling of the car and everything. Well, he's freaking out for real this time. He's couldn't do anything. So I slam the car in park, jump out. I had some paper towels that I wrapped his finger with and told him to hold it up so that I could get the lavender out and then drop it on his finger. And then we wrapped it back up. And again, it calmed him down immediately. I was able to take the paper towel off, look at it, see if we need to go get stitches. And it wasn't that bad, but it also stopped bleeding just like that. So again, I just, the fact that it helps to clean the area, helps, like if you look at it, it stopped bleeding, and we just needed a Band-Aid, so it wasn't that bad, but it had just gotten the vein just right to where it was just like coming out like crazy to begin with. So another reason why you should also keep a handful of oils on you at all times.
Yes. We love lavender. I'm obsessed with it. And we could talk about lavender for probably 4 hours alone because it's what they call the Swiss Army knife of oils. I mean, when in doubt, grab your lavender because it is so good for everything. It's very mild too. So it's really great to use on like babies and toddlers and kids and everybody. Like when Candace is talking about all this stuff, anything skin, like cuts, bruises, that type of thing we've used it for. Bug bites, same thing with peppermint for that. But I will just say tonight, for the sake of time, I'll just share that it is great for two awesome things. One, anything seasonal, sniffles and all that junk with the pollen and everything like that. It has been a life changer for me and my mom. Life changer. And then for when you have a baby, number one, being pregnant, it's a very mild oil to use for things when you're pregnant. You can't take anything when you're pregnant. And so oils are awesome. And for a newborn child in a couple, as she's from newborn to now, lavender is one of those oils that I keep in the diaper bag. It stays with us everywhere we go for anything skin that pops up, for anything tummy. So, like you can literally use it on their tummies when they're a newborn for that gassy feeling, for struggles going to the bathroom, that kind of thing. Just little drop with a carrier oil if you feel like it, and rub it on the bottom of their feet or over their stomach. It is good for calming. It is good for sleeping. It is good for stomach stuff. I mean, literally anything on babies. And so it is one that I definitely would keep. I keep it on the changing table and in my diaper bag for Aislinn ever since she's been born. So real quick, I will add, and then we'll move on to the next one. A couple of things that I've learned over the years about lavender. If you have trouble sleeping or, just going to sleep and staying asleep, I learned in a wellness seminar several years ago that if you will put lavender on the tops of your big toes for 40 days, it helps reset your sleep cycle. So it's really good for that. She talked about, seasonal, when Marley used to take things over the counter stuff and everything for allergies. That's actually what got Marley hooked on it. She carries it with her, that and the Allerzyme. And those are the two she uses for everything with that. But there's an emotional side to oils, which we haven't really talked a whole lot about. But with lavender, if you have ever felt, and a lot of people, I would say 100% of the people I have personally asked who are like, oh, I don't like that, I don't like lavender. For the emotional side of that, the number one would be abandonment or feeling criticized all the time. So if you smell it and you don't like it, I want to encourage you to use it, 2-3 weeks, but use it every day, because there's usually an emotional side to that it can help you facilitate you letting go and working through some of that stuff. So there is an emotional side. We won't go into a lot of detail about that, but that's two things I wanted to say about lavender. And it is extremely mild, but that is also one that we don't ever run out of. And funny thing about that, when you have an oil that you don't really care for, and you kind of look at what it relates to, and then as you use it more frequently, then it becomes something that you really like. Like I was not a fan of lavender, and I couldn't stand joy, and they're some of my favorite oils. And a tip to get to move into that place of liking it, if you really have issues with it, diffuse it. And even combine it like lavender, lemon, peppermint, or combine lavender with cedarwood or orange. I like lavender and orange together, or lavender and stress away. Peace and calming. Let it
diffuse it, and you will find that will change. I have not found anybody yet that doesn't change for.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, I clicked off of it. Oh, we kind of talked about that one a little bit already.
Let me take this.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
When I got married, y'all remember this story?
I remember. I delivered it to your door.
Because we were out, because we had used it all up. So when I got married that night, on our honeymoon night, Luke came down with what I call the plague. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. He was so sick that he couldn't even communicate with me. It was like we had gone to bed and I woke up and I heard him just throwing up. And then it was both ways. And it was just awful. He was literally, when we went home, he was literally in a coma in the bed, could not respond to me. And I was like, Melissa, I need oils. I'm out of all these oils. She brought me charcoal and some extra Digize because we had some, but not enough. And I mean, he was dead. I was worried he was not alive in the bed, but I was rubbing oils on his belly and on his feet and being take this. And he'd be dead taking it. But it helps. It helps pull all that stuff out, whatever it was that was causing that, get it out. Digize works like the other oils we're talking about, however you need it to work. So doing that and the charcoal to bind to the nastiness and pull it all out, it got him through that a lot faster than it would have if he had just tried to be going about his day. Dying in the bed. So to this day, he cannot stand. He gets flashbacks about the smell, but it is the first oil he will grab if he's having any kind of problem. Yeah. And that's how I feel about it too. Oh, I am not a fan of the smell. So many people cannot stand the smell of Digize. Some people like it, some people don't. But they will swear up and down at its effectiveness, and it is so true. I love that it's a vitality oil in the kit because that's the way I would take it, internally. Yeah. Drop it under the tongue and then follow it with a drop of peppermint, and you are set for anything digestive. And then also, weird fun fact, the regular Digize you can actually use for sour laundry. If you really have tough smelling stuff that you need to neutralize that scent, Digize is actually very helpful in the laundry.
I actually put it in my spray for my succulents.
What?
Yep.
Cool. I've not thought about that.
I put oils in my spray, but I rotate. Right now, I think I have lemon or lemongrass in there, but I will rotate, but Digize, because Gary did a test on how to bring soil back and it puts the enzymes in, will strengthen the soil. So I was able to plants.
Cool.
But I do put it in the laundry. I like it in the laundry.
Yeah. Anything any upset tummy.
Yeah. I like the taste of it. I will put it on my feet, put it on my belly button, but I also like licorice. But most people do not like the taste of it or the smell. But I swear by the results. It is definitely one you do not want to run out of.
Right. Oh, yeah. We have backup of it at our house.
I already shared my testimony of frankincense. I still use it every day. In fact, I just put some on a while ago when we were getting started. But I love it. And I have used it a lot lately. I've been using it just to kind of help me, process the grief. We lost my mom recently. And I have been literally pouring it on the top of my head. And morning and night. And just anytime I feel like I just need to kind of, strengthen my resolve to do stuff. So I've gone through probably 2 bottles in the last 3 weeks. I have used a ton.
Yeah. I will just say, just to be, quick with it, anything for your skin, put it on your face, before you go to bed at night, mix with some jojoba oil, and, you can make a little serum with the frankincense and the lavender and put it on. The cool thing is that number one, it helps you to go to sleep and have an amazing restful sleep, but it's helping your skin. It's helping to brighten your skin. It's helping that cell regeneration and all of that. So I love to put it on my face every night.
Yeah. This is a good one to have in your own body cream or add to your lotion for like during pregnancy. Helps with the skin elasticity. And also anytime you're using it, like Candace was saying, if you're putting it on your face every night, you're getting the emotional benefits like Melissa was saying. So even if you're not necessarily like struggling in the moment, it is very powerful for that. And so, I mean, it was one of the gifts to the Christ child. It's got to be pretty fantastic. It is one of the oils that we always say, like, I feel like people may not really know what to do with it at first, but it is one of those oils that's literally good for everything. So if you have nothing else, you keep frankincense with you. It is phenomenal.
David Stewart says, when in doubt, frankincense is always, you can use it for anything. It is good, beneficial for respiratory, emotional. It's good for brain. I mean, anywhere you put it, the benefits of frankincense are phenomenal. Emotional side of frankincense, the main one, dizziness, feelings of worthlessness, and the anger that makes you want to go to people. But yeah, I love it. It is one I would never, I can't imagine not having it. Panaway, we kind of touched on this a little bit too. Did you know, I learned this last year, and when I had surgery, and I had a friend of mine who's also in Young Living, she and her daughter came and stayed with me when I was doing my recovery. And she said, do you not ever diffuse frankincense? And I was like, no, I don't want to waste it in my diffuser. She goes, oh no, your receptors, when you smell it, is good for helping you relax. And when you're tense and struggling to feel better and recover, it increases your pain. She said, you need to diffuse it. And so my recovery the first week was kind of brutal, and I was not taking anything for it. I was doing everything holistic for my recovery. And I was, really kind of struggling with some pain and restlessness. And so I put 4 drops of my diffuser in my room and turned my fan off and just had my diffuser was just kind of like wafting over me. And believe it or not, and I'm always amazed. You think after 10 years, been there, done that, would quit being surprised. But diffusing Panaway actually lessened the pain I was having with my recovery. I was blown away. So that's a new use for me that I learned in the last year, was diffusing Panaway. But it is one I like to use topical, and I really love putting it in magnesium flakes, the ancient.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably if I take a bath, Panaway goes in. I don't bathe.
Yes.
But Panaway is the one I love, my first choice always.
Yeah, I just say any ache or pain, any of stuff going on in the beginning, whenever we had Panaway and Valor in the kits, and I had really, really tight jaws and all that kind of stuff, I would use those two on my jawline with a little bit of heat, and it helped so much with all that tension in my jaws and everything. So that's like my go-to whenever I have any of that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, I've used it for tooth pain, or across the top of my gums. And then when my ears ring, if my ears get to ringing real bad, I'll do on the outside of my ears, and it will lessen.
Yep.
The emotions with Panaway, I think, are very interesting. Exhaustion, and if you think too, recovery from workout, that makes sense. Fear of emotions. This should be like my favorite oil because I'm not a fan of emotions. The emotional pain. Those are the top 3 for Panaway. So, which I think are, it's not like, oh, let's just think of a name. But Gary, when he was formulating these, was very intentional and they were all formulated with a purpose. And so a lot of times, if you're wondering what oils are for, look at the name, and they're usually named for those purposes. Anybody else have anything about Panaway?
I think it kind of speaks for itself.
I think so too.
Well, wasn't it originally Painaway and they changed the name? So if you're wondering, it speaks for itself because we know what it was originally named.
Yeah.
But that's why it's called Panaway. Kind of a weird name, but it was Painaway.
Yes, I forgot about that. So Raven is a really kind of an undiscovered favorite, I think. They swapped RC because we had some harvest issues and RC became limited for a while. So they swapped out RC and put Raven in, which I've always liked Raven. And
I was so excited for that swap because it's actually, I had it on hand one time and was out of RC, which was usually my go-to grab for respiratory. And I used Raven, and it's my favorite over RC without a doubt. I love RC too, but Raven is what I grab for that.
Yeah, I like Raven.
And I feel like Raven is a little bit more gentle, you know, whenever it comes to like using it for the kids and stuff like that. I know RC can kind of be a little bit, maybe feel a little bit overpowering because it has 3 different types of eucalyptus in it. So you get all that mentholy. So, I love both of them. But I do like to rub Raven on the bottom of the kids' feet, go up the spine, whenever they're super congested. We love Sniffles too, but we use, all of them. So
I like to diffuse this one. I probably diffuse this one more than I'd even diffuse. And I used to use RC and the diffuser all the time, but then I started I really enjoy diffusing Raven.
It just smells really good. It just smells good to diffuse, even if you're not dealing with congestion. I mean, it just smells really good in the house. So, and it's kind of an uplifting type of smell too. So we enjoy that one.
Okay, Valor. So this would probably be the top of my favorite blends. This and Believe are probably my 2 favorite, but Valor, I will never forget when this became out of stock.
Let's not talk about it.
It was very traumatizing for me, especially because they came in the 15 ml bottle, which we can now get.
Yes.
But I had 4 bottles, and I have always been one, if somebody needs something, I've, gladly just shared it. And I had 2 friends from church. This one has been a game changer for one of my kids for just anxiousness on presenting, and she's fearful going into different situations and stuff. So this one was really good for us emotionally. And so and I would share that with people, and so then they would want it. And so I remember 2 bottles that weekend I'd taken to church and let friends have it. And like before I could order to refill it, bye Valor. It was out of stock. And I think 2.5 years we went without it. And so I nursed the bottle that I had left, or 2 bottles that I had left in the 1 roll on. And then they would release it, and I would buy as much as I could in the 5 ml and just stock it up. And then, we would trade things out. So I'm very excited that this, and that is the thing. People are like, oh, I would never want to be with a company that, can't keep things in stock.
Right.
I would never be with a company that always has things in stock, because that right there tells you that there's something fake in it. It's synthetic. We talked about seed to seal briefly, but one of the things we didn't talk about that has always amazed me with Young Living is if they can't get what they need, or even if they have what they need and it doesn't test out with the right number of compounds to give you the greatest therapeutic value, they will not sell you something lesser than. So it has to meet all their standards before they will sell it. And that, in Valor and Peace and Calming, 2 of our top selling, money-making, phenomenal oils that have been life-changing for everybody, they pulled them out of the product line because we couldn't get the tansy and stuff we needed. And Jared one time out on a retreat said, I have been everywhere in the world. We've tested every possible source of these plant products that we need to make it. There's nothing good enough. So they pulled it off the product line. Frustrating, yes. Were we desperate for it? Yes. But they put the people over profit. And that is integrity, that right there, because I don't have to worry about what I put on my kids.
And they didn't leave us hanging either. They listed other complementary oils that could fulfill that need. And then they formulated Valor 2 without the tansy to give us a similar outcome. So but I couldn't be mad. I really was not mad about it. It was kind of like, oh man, that really stinks.
Right.
I wonder how long it'll take them to do this again. But I was appreciative. I mean, you cannot find companies today that you can trust like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm obsessed with Valor. I told y'all this is one of the first 3 oils that I ever tried. It is huge for feelings of anxiousness, huge for helping you with confidence, huge with helping you with the restful night's sleep. It has some crazy weird usages like putting it on your big toe for snoring.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they call it chiropractor in the bottle because it can actually help naturally align the body, which is insane, but so cool.
Yeah.
It's
Part
a
of the
beautiful
raindrop kit.
oil. Yes.
Part of the raindrop kit. It's definitely, this is a very old bottle. This is one of my last original bottles that I had tucked away in my emergency kit, and I keep it here at my desk, and I open it and smell it, and every now and then I drop out of it. But yeah, I love it. It is definitely one of my favorite blends. And it is one I will use before I get a massage or get adjusted, because it really just helps, bring the body back into balance. It's a good and that's what it does in the raindrop, is you put it on just to help bring the body back into balance from head to toe. You put it on the heads and the shoulders and the feet before you start, and it's just very grounding, very balancing, and it's beautiful smell. I love the scent of Valor. Peace and calming. Here's the other one. And my child that I was telling you about, this, when she was little, after we'd gone through my divorce and stuff, she was super high or super low, super loud, super anxious. This was like flipping a switch. And this was her oil. And actually, one of her best friends that they grew up together, both had a lot of anxiety in big crowds and with people and stuff like that. And same thing for her. I mean, this is a phenomenal oil to use with your kids, especially if they don't like, busy, big circumstances. This is also a great one to diffuse during the holidays when you have all your crazy family over and you need some help. Stress away.
It's a great nighttime diffusing blend too. It's like a go-to for sleep, for a restful night's sleep, but also again with like that feelings of anxiousness and things like that. It is insane to me. It's one of the converting oils. Like people notice a very quick difference with this one for either sleep or for like, majorly anxious situations or stress. It is one where you can literally put it in your hands and breathe it in and just like almost instantly just go and just relax. Like it is something else. It is, we are never without it. We hoard peace and calming over here. Luke and I are both obsessed with it. I think pretty much everybody.
Yeah, Jared uses that one because he's like super sensitive with noises and stuff. And obviously we have 2 boys, so it's not really ever quiet in the house and it's really loud. So he like goes and puts it on whenever the noises are just really, really getting to him. So I think it just pretty much, as far as any of those frazzled moments that you could use it for yourself, and just have it on hand.
2 boys and 3 dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. We've kind of talked about Thieves already. This one is such a powerhouse. It has its own product line. Different toothpaste, the cleaner.
And we have them all. We all have it all.
Mouthwash, spray. But I want to say probably when I first started using oils and we were in a homeschool group, my favorite testimony with this one, we had about 30 some odd families, and they had respiratory and stomach bug running through. I mean, families were getting it 2 and 3 times. And my family's the only one that didn't get it. We actually shut down our homeschool house for about 2 to 3 weeks. And Catherine and I have a mutual friend that they have a lot of kids, and they had it. I think their whole family, it ran through their family like 4 times. And when all came back to school, everybody's like, what do you mean you didn't get it? And I want to say this is why, because I was diffusing. I was putting it on the bottom of my kids' feet. And I use lemon a lot for on the bottom of the kids' feet. But when school starts back, that's one thing we start doing. We start putting lemon on and a drop of thieves on the bottom of everybody's feet every day as we go back to church, as we go back to our homeschool groups. And I watch them just drop like flies. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to say 100% because there's no 100% for anything. We don't get it. And when we get it, we bounce back really quick. And this has actually been the hook that got a lot of my friends and their kids involved in oils, because they would watch how my kids did and what we did with our family. And this is what led into it. But this is a powerhouse oil for boosting the immune system.
I have to say, like, even my granddaddy, just the comparison of my family versus my cousin, her kids are like always sick. And Lysol wipes and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, how come y'all aren't ever sick? And I'm like, pretty sure it's because we use Thieves cleaner and we use Thieves spray all the time. I have no doubt that is why. I have no doubt, because, people that are Lysol and Clorox wiping everything, they're not actually getting rid of the cooties that are on the surfaces of everything. So, and then whenever you can support your body and be able to fight everything off. I mean, last year, I remember whenever 2 of my partners got the flu from each other, and they passed it around to every member in their family. And I never got it. And I was never even really worried about getting it. I just don't get sick like that. Yeah. Not often. I mean, since I've been using oils, I may have felt like I'm starting to come down with something. And as soon as I feel like that little bit of I feel like I'm run down, I break out those capsules and I put Thieves and oregano with a little bit of olive oil. And I take those things 3 times a day, just to be on top of it and keep anything from going further. And that's the thing. It's all about prevention.
Absolutely.
So
we are big believers in the Inner Defense capsules, which have the Thieves in it.
Yeah.
And big believers in the Ningxia Red and taking vitamin C and vitamin D. Those are huge factors. But like Candace, you're talking about not using the things like Lysol and stuff like that. It's like, not only do they just not work the same, but they're tearing your immune system down. So you may be killing some of the germs, but you're wearing your bodies down in the process, and it is not at all helping you stay healthier, which is why, again, we're just obsessed with everything Thieves in our house. And I love that I can clean everything with the Thieves cleaner, and my child is not getting any of the residue from stuff that could be hormone disrupting or cancer causing ingredients, but she could touch the cleaner. She could lick the cleaner. It's not going to do anything except for boost her, a healthy immune system, because it's Thieves.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about having child locks on your cabinet.
Right.
With the cleaner that you use in your house. You don't have to put it up in a high place so your kids can't get to it, because we don't have any of that kind of stuff in the house. So that's super important.
I was just fixing to ask that. Would you be worried about it? Because I remember when my friend Carla was doing their home study, and they had the Thieves cleaner. They came over to inspect their house, and she saw it in there. She goes, oh, you don't even have to worry about it, because if they drank that concentrate, it's not going to hurt them. I mean, there's nothing toxic that's going to harm them. They might throw it up, but that'll be the worst, because it's got a soap. It's not harmful at all. So I love that you don't have to worry about having that stuff. You don't have to worry about if you inhale the fumes from cleaning your toilet, about it killing you or harming your lungs, like you do if you mix bleach and ammonia or the wrong.
Or like just the residue of in your bathtub from cleaners, and you just think, well, I cleaned it and I washed it out. Well, no. The residue is still on your tub, and then you're putting your baby in there with hot water, opening up their pores to suck in all that stuff. I was talking to a girl who helps meal prep for me today, and she was saying she just cringed the other day watching that her a family member cleans their pots and pans with Comet, okay? And then you're just rinsing them out and stuff, but then you're cooking them on the stove with food in it after the residue is still there. We have Thieves dishwasher powder. We have Thieves dish soap. I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. And again, we've talked about the company and their integrity and their seed to soap practices. And it is so comforting, not only as just a human, but as a mom, to know that I can buy everything I need from a company and not think twice. I don't need any more stress in life. I don't need to have to worry about like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to look at this label and research this company if I even want to have a chance at this being, you know, halfway decent. I don't have to do that because we have a company that we believe in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Citrus Fresh. I love this one in my water. And it has a little bit of spearmint in it, which is good for metabolism. So I love the taste of it. And this is also something that the regular one that I put on my stomach a lot of times. I rotate between Citrus Fresh, orange, and grapefruit. I will do topically on the mornings after I take a shower. But this is actually one I love. And it's also great, you know, I learned this trick actually from you, Candace. If I don't have my handy little bottle of spray or my cleaner, I will take a few drops of lemon or Citrus Fresh or something like that and take a napkin and wipe the tables down if we're going to go out to eat somewhere.
Yeah.
And that has actually started conversations. And if I don't have my soap or something in my bag, I will wash my hands in warm water and then take a drop or two of oil and just wipe my hands with them and then let them air dry. And I've actually had little mini education conversations in public bathrooms and at restaurants doing that very thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my word, that smells amazing. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Watching that too. But this is one I do like. Y'all have anything to share about Citrus Fresh? Stop yawning.
I would just say to just encourage you guys to actually Google the benefits of the properties of citrus oils.
Absolutely.
And why that they're so amazing and beneficial. It's pretty crazy to look at the studies on that.
Yeah. And hit us up if you want any kind of educational books or resource books, because I can get you a discount on those. And everything, a lot of what you need is listed in there. There's testimonial sites. I mean, we can definitely direct you in the way to learn more about any of the properties of them. Stress Away. I do like this one. And what I found, I don't know about y'all, but what I found is people are either yay, pissing calming, kind of okay, so on Stress Away, or the opposite. It's like
I think people like both of them, but they're like team one or the other. Like, you know, like that's their favorite. I love the smell Stress Away. Oh my gosh. I use it. I love to diffuse it. There's so many good combinations or even by itself to diffuse, and it is just so calming and uplifting. I love to apply it. It smells great. I'm team peace and calming for most of the issues. But I do love some Stress Away.
I do too. I like to
and I'll say I have clients that, you know, whenever their muscles are really, really tight, mostly in their neck and shoulders, and put Stress Away on. And I have actually had someone come to me from a wellness event that we were at that tried it at my table. They came back at the end of their day and was like, I need to know how to get more of this because my shoulders completely relaxed after I put just one drop on my neck, like just rubbed it down my neck. And he was just amazed at how quickly that happened. And so, you know, if you do have a lot of tension and tightness, it can definitely be used for your muscles as well, because, you know, of the oils that are in it. So again, a lot of different uses, but it's super calming. Wear it as a perfume, you know, smell it throughout the day, all that kind of stuff. It's great.
Yep. I love this one. Ningxia Red. Oh my word. There's nothing that this does not support in your body. Cardiovascular is probably the first thing that comes to mind. But I also, when I take this almost every day, very rarely does it. I gave mine away actually today to somebody who needed it more than I did. But I carry the packets a lot of times with me in my purse. I keep a bottle in my fridge. I'll add it to my acai bowls when I make them or I'll do that in coconut water, but I like to add it to that. But I will put oils in it and take a shot of it every day. But I want to say probably this is probably one of my favorite out of the supplement line, even though it's a liquid drink. I got on this by accident because they ran a promo and for 3 months, if you bought it, they gave you an added bonus, just really trying to get it in the hands of people. And that's what I tell people all the time. If you ever try these, and with me, I did the Ningxia. I bought it with the intent of selling it to somebody else. And I thought, well, I've got it. I'll just try it. So for that 3 months, I took it. And I did an ounce to 2 a day as recommended. And I'm really not noticing any difference. And then I ran out and I thought, I'm not going to order it anymore. And then about 2 weeks of being off of it, I realized I was dragging, middle of the day slump, feeling like I needed a nap, just really fatigued. And then it hit me. Oh my word. It's the Ningxia. That is probably about 6 years ago. And I have kept it in stock. I rotate and I order Ningxia about every 3 months. I will order the ER packet or ER combo or a bunch of packets, but usually I do the combo, and I order that every 3 months. And
yeah, that's literally what I was going to say. The
right.
same thing is like, I got on it out of curiosity and because I majored in nutrition. So I thought that the nutrition fact panel looked amazing and I should probably be getting those nutrients. And then when I got the 2-pack, the 2 bottles, and I was like, man, this tastes really great. You start to crave it, like your body craves it. But like when I ran out, it took maybe 2 weeks to go. Yeah, that afternoon slump, I just didn't even realize it was even an issue at that point when I was first taking it. So, I mean, and besides that, I mean, I've been taking it ever since. Besides that, whenever we feel like we need extra immune support, we double down on the Ningxia as part of our regimen.
Right.
And now
and my
Aislinn
kids
is
like
obsessed with it. Aislinn is obsessed with it. She calls it her juice or her ninja, and she wants it. She asks for it, and she sucks it down. And I'm so glad because it is so packed full of good stuff for her and so good at this, especially this time of year. So I give her Ningxia and let her have some elderberry, and it's just awesome that we can support their little bodies with that.
Yeah. So a few months ago, I had my poodle. Yeah, I have a standard poodle floating around here somewhere. And she had puppies, and she had 9, which is a very large litter. She is not a dog that carries a lot of weight. And they took her way down to the point that it really scared me. And this was one of the things I used to really perk her up and keep her going. I mean, it was when she hit that bottom, I really wondered if she was even going to survive because they pulled her so far down. And I mean, I was feeding her 5-6 times a day. And so I did 2 things. I did Ningxia with a little bit, the first day I did Ningxia with a little bit of maple syrup just to really boost her mineral content. And then I gave her Ningxia. And within probably 36, 48 hours, boy, she really perked back up and started doing good. And then we've been building back on weight. But this really was key in helping turn her around and seeing her through. I was able to, instead of weaning the puppies completely, I started supplementing them, and I was able to keep her nursing them up until they were 7 weeks old. They were obviously eating food by then too. But I really felt like this was instrumental in helping her just maintain and keep that litter and then maintain her health. So I was really impressed with how much it helped her. And I was giving her 2 ounces. I was giving her the twice a day, and 2 of her feedings, I was giving her the Ningxia, and then some other things too, along, feeding her some raw things and stuff like that to really help stimulate her, but could not keep weight on her. But she was able to, her milk production never stopped, and her energy level really picked up once I put her on the Ningxia. And what's cool about the Ningxia, because you'll see the goji berries, you'll see other companies with this kind of stuff out there, but it is watered from the Himalayas. So the mineral content of this is so far superior to any other product on the market. And like she said, the nutritional panel, it is probably one of the best I've ever seen. I've just been really impressed. Y'all have anything else to add about Ningxia?
No.
Okay, Catherine, I'll let you take it from here.
Oh, okay. One more thing is, I will say that in your premium starter kit, the Ningxia comes in little individual pouches. You can buy them like that, which I love. I do both the bottles and the pouch combination. But those are really, really good to throw in the freezer and then snip the top off and eat it like a popsicle. Just saying. Really good. So to start your wellness journey with the premium starter kit, there is a couple of options to start. There is a basic kit now, which is $35. It comes like Stress Away, some Thieves mints. I don't know. It's come with a spray bottle, the Thieves spray. Comes with a couple little things, but not really anything. It just helps you open up your membership and then add on whatever you need. But we always, always, always try to encourage the premium starter kit because the value is unreal. It is like over $300 and something worth of stuff that you are getting for $165. You can start with the essential oil kit. Like we've discussed, all the oils that we talked about tonight, that are on the slides, are in the premium starter kit. You get 12 essential oils and a diffuser. So you're able to really get your hands in and try all these different things that we've talked about with all these different oils, and be able to use them. You can use them topically, internally, and, in your diffuser aromatically. And then you're also going to get the samples, 2 pouches of the Ningxia Red to try. You're going to get the hand sanitizer to try, a little travel hand sanitizer, which is amazing. And one of our most loved little Thieves sprays, which is so cool. I love the bonus stuff that comes in the kits now.
Mm-hmm.
That I absolutely love that. And then you get little roller balls that you can actually pop off one of the lids on your favorite essential oil bottles. I would say probably your choice is going to be Stress Away, Peace and Calming, or Valor. Those are probably the ones that people like to pop on a roller bottle on the most. And you can try putting on one of those roller balls on the top. And what that does is just makes it really easy to roll on and apply topically if you're on the go. And so to get started with that, but you need to just talk to whoever, if you haven't already, talk to whoever introduced you to essential oils. They have a referral link that they can give you, and all you do is, it's pre-filled for you most of the time. Type in your information, pick your starter kit. There's this one. There's a Thieves starter kit, so you can start with a healthy home type of thing. So you can get Thieves cleaner, hand soaps, toothpaste, that kind of stuff, and really start your transition there. And we have a Ningxia starter kit, so you can start there. And we also have makeup starter kits now, so you can start there. So really, wherever you're wanting to go, don't be overwhelmed. Just pick your starting point. Get your hands in there. We have a lot of resources. We have a very supportive community. It very much so matters who you are signed up with, what team and organization that you get into, so that you can really get the most out of your products. So yeah, what do y'all have to add to that?
I would say probably, I want to touch on like the basic starter kit. I don't mention that one a lot of times unless it's somebody. I have a really dear friend of mine who was very skeptical. She's in the medical field, and she was worked emergency room doctor for a long time, and she was very skeptical about the oils, but she is a Bible scholar basically, and she just wanted the ancient oils kit. That's all she wanted. So if somebody comes and they're wanting like the raindrop kit or the
CBD
kit, something like that, the basic kit is a phenomenal way to get in and get one of those premium collections and still get your wholesale membership. So that's really the time that I use it. If we just need to tailor make. Now the essential rewards, which I think this slide, a lot of times now they have an option where you can enroll with your premium starter kit of choice, and that be your first ER order. And so you get points back. It's like a reward system that we have where you get points back and they accumulate, and you can swap those points for products. And they have loyalty gifts. So every 3, 6, 9, and then that year, they will send you a gift that you're on Essential Rewards. The first month, the first 3 months that you're on Essential Rewards, you get 10% back of whatever you purchase on your monthly order. Then month 4 through 12, right? You get 20%. And then after the first year, you get 20%.
No, it's month 4 to month 23, and then 20, and after 24 months, you're at 25%.
Okay. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
this debate with somebody the other day, and I meant to look that up, and I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I've been
And
on
the biggest thing with that is that I know that, you know, most people are like, you know, I don't want to do something that is a monthly order. It is something that you can go ahead and try out, but you can cancel at any time. And I will tell you that if you're worried about having to call and cancel and someone try to talk you into not doing it like the cable company will do to you, that's not going to happen. So they're just going to be like, okay, let us make sure that you use any of the points that you've already earned so that you don't use it or lose those. And then, you know, you can sign up again any other time if you want to. And really, it just comes down to the fact that anything that you buy from Walmart or Target or any of these big box stores, you don't earn money back on the money that you're spending in those stores. But you are earning money back with Young Living.
Mhm.
And these are products that, you know, like you're using that Thieves household cleaner. Well, you no longer have to buy your cleaners from Target or Walmart anymore because you're getting it from Young Living. And they have laundry soap and they have shampoo. And then, you know, the things that you're not going to need because you're using the oils now, you're not going to have to go buy those from the store anymore. So you're basically switching from spending your money at these big box stores that are making money off of you from going there and buying them to ordering it from Young Living instead. And so you're changing from where you're spending that money at. You're not actually spending more money when it comes down to it. And that's the biggest thing is us just being able to help you to be able to save money and, you know, just do that ditch and switch so that your house can become cleaner.
I will
So
add to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would say I rotate my orders every month. I do a lot of supplements. So filling my ER order is never, it's my issue is I want more of everything and I have to, you know, I really pay attention to what I've got. I try to keep on top of my inventory of my oils. I order supplements every month. I'll do a little bit, but then I have a month that I do all supplements. And then I have a month that I'll do whatever I need to kind of fill in the spots, and I do oils that month. And then the third month I do Ningxia. So I kind of rotate things. Now, every now and then something will come up that I need to swap that stuff out. But rule of thumb, that's pretty much how I do my ER. And they're consumable, but they're beneficial. But I can tell you, I don't go to Walmart. I've actually what I used to go to Walmart for was toilet paper, and I don't even do that anymore. I have that delivered to my house.
Me too. Yeah. Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Yes. Amazon Prime. And actually there's something crap place that I get this huge box of toilet paper that lasts me like 3 months or 4 months. There are so many things. It just makes it easier to do. But my cleaner, I probably buy every 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, it lasts forever.
I mean, I can't remember. I'm getting ready to have to order Thieves cleaner. Maybe I just did put it on this last month, but I'm getting ready to order that, I think. And I can't remember when I bought it last. And usually if I order it in between, it's for somebody else, or like the little thing we did. Laundry detergent, I order twice a year, and I redeem points for that because then I get it. All I do is I don't even pay shipping because I do the YOGO. But I get it for free, and I will save up points, and I buy 6 to 8 at a time and have it all come in at once and put it up in my counter in my laundry room. So it's really cool how this is saved. So at 25% of everything I buy, I take that and I turn and I reinvest it into to things that I need here at home. So I save a ton of money. I can't even begin to say, and I am very frugal. I'm a tightwad in a lot of ways, but not so much when it comes to buying this kind of stuff. But when I sat down and I looked at how much money I was saving, because I don't buy over-the-counter products. I buy all my supplements now. I would say 95 to 98% of my supplements that I've used for 30 years have been replaced by a superior quality from Young Living, and the Ningxia and everything else. I also do YOGO Plus. So when I redeem points, I get those shipments for free. My ER is for free. And then if I do, and this is wrong, they just changed the overnight shipping flat rate is now $19.99 instead of $10. That changed back in August. I just didn't realize that this was an old slide. And I've used that a couple of times when I need something, you know, in a crisis, or need something, like I had to ship some stuff out for my brother. And so I'll use the overnight, which there's no weight limit. So if I want to do, you know, 12 bottles of Ningxia, it's $19.99. If I want to do 2 bottles of Ningxia overnight, it's $19.99. But I really enjoyed this. So this is like our own version of Prime. $69 for the 12 ER, and then I can't remember what the YL Go Plus is. $129 maybe. $129. So, but it is, they have really stepped up and gone above and beyond to get this stuff to us, and you know, and make it as affordable as possible.
I didn't join this right when it first released. I waited a few months, and then I didn't realize, like, I don't really know why I waited a few months to do that because it makes so much sense. So I recommend this for sure if you're going to be on Essential Rewards. And I'll also say too, real quick, is like, I usually do get, like Candace, you kind of touched on this. I get questions a lot about, well, okay, so, but if I get a premium starter kit, do I have to sell? If I get a premium starter kit, does that mean that I have to do A, B, or C? How often do I have to order? Do I have to keep inventory? Like, there's no traps with Young Living. I realize that those are valid questions with a lot of different companies, but there's literally no traps with Young Living. You can choose to do the business with your distributor, with your wholesale membership. You could not. You could kind of refer friends. You could not. You could, I mean, you can literally decide one day you want to share with a friend and the next day you don't. You could also decide that you want to be on Essential Rewards for a few months and then stop. Like, you can, and there's no penalty. You know what I mean? Like, you know, make sure you use your Essential Rewards points, but there's no, Young Living requires nothing from you that you don't want to give. So probably I just really like that.
Mistake of telling people in the beginning is, let me show you. If people are going to ask you, I did not ever step into this like, I'm going to do this for a living. I'm going to do this. You know, I never, it was not on my radar. You know, people were like, why don't you do this? And, you know, try. And I was actually a member for almost 4 years before I really started thinking, I'm buying for people. I'm giving it away. I'm reselling. And it just doesn't make any sense to do that. So one of the things probably that I've learned in this last year is teach people, like, here's how you create your referral link. When people ask you, show them how to log on and create their own account. It's not selling, it's sharing. Right. And if you don't even want to do that, then reach out to me and I will help you do it. And I will bless you with something for the referral. But it has been a life changer for me and my kids. It's enabled me to stay home with my children and homeschool my girls. And my first one is just now leaving the house at 19. And I've got 2 more to go, but I'm so grateful to God for the time and the opportunity to be home with my girls as a single mom. And I couldn't have done it without Young Living. Crickets. Y'all just got quiet. So
I was just waiting for you to go to the next slide.
It just says thank you. I already looked because I thought, am I missing anything? But yeah, no, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching.
If y'all have questions, you can always comment or you can message us privately. We're here for you. We're here to support and to serve you guys. We are passionate about this, and we're just really excited to help you in any way that we can. We have an amazing supportive group of people that love on each other, give, serve, educate. We have fun. And so we're just really excited that you've watched this video, if you have. And we would love to have you join our team if you're not already using essential oils. And if you are one of our members watching this video for further education, we hope you really learned some new things about it, about the oils that are in your starter kit, and that it just really helps launch you into your journey.
Yes. And also, if you are watching this and you are not, hit us up, because we have started doing these little mini sample classes and sending samples of different things for the oils or the cleaners and different things. And we would love to be able to bless you with some things to try, because a lot of people going into it, I am a huge skeptic, are skeptical. And sometimes just having them to try and having them in your hands and experiencing them can be, like it was for each of us, a game changer.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
I'm going to stop the recording. You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Figure out how to do it. Bye. Got it. No.